Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day so far, and welcome to today's video where I'm going to be sharing with you things that I hate about makeup. Elements of makeup that make me fuming, irrationally filled with rage. I'm going to share my triggers, my hates, my pet peeves with you in the hope that I'm not alone here. I can't be alone. You guys, I don't know. Tell me how you feel. Please let me know. Do any of these things bother you? Do you like any of these things? I mean, someone's got to. Someone's buying these things and someone's loving it, but it's not me. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first thing I hate when it comes to makeup is tiny, useless brushes. You know what I'm talking about. The tiny, useless little brushes that Chanel, for example, put in their blush. The tiny little eyeshadow brushes that Tom Ford puts in his quads. That happens to when you're trying to use it. I can't tell you how many of these brushes I've thrown away. I've started giving them to my son and he uses them for painting and just general play. My son, my 5-year-old, actually he's now 6. Get with the times. My 6-year-old little boy has a whole collection of Chanel makeup brushes. So who would have thought that was going to be a thing? A lot of you guys have told me you use them for various different things, but I don't know many people, if anyone, who actually uses them to apply the products. And we're paying, I'm sure we're paying for these. This is the thing, we're paying for them. You know, the compact could be smaller. If we just got rid of that stupid little insert for the brush that everybody throws away and doesn't use, we could make the compact smaller. We could take £5 off the price because we don't need the brush. We don't use... Who's going to buy a very expensive, luxurious, beautiful Chanel blush and then apply it with that? Who's doing that? No, that's not how we want to treat our cheeks. That's what she said. But the point is, we don't need these brushes. They're a complete waste of plastic and also a complete waste of our £3 that I'm sure we're paying for them to be in there when we don't want them, we don't use them, we all just throw them away. Please make it stop. Stop it. Nobody uses those. I knew this was going to happen. Beige is already building and we're only on the first item. Next, we're going to talk about ridiculously shaped pans in makeup. Do you know who chief offender of this is? Too Faced. Chief offender. Okay, they're coming out with diamonds and heart shape. No, we like squares and circles. Squares and circles. Say it with me. Squares and circles. Squares and circles. That's what we like in our eyeshadow pans. We don't want points. Can't get your brush in there. No points. No diamonds. No triangles. No hearts. Because it looks cute. No, it's hurting. It hurts my eyes. And never a mixture of what I've just said. No, we want them, we want uniformed, the same circles and squares, circles and squares. We could just about let you off for rectangles, although not too skinny, please, not too skinny. I'm looking at you, Charlotte Tilbury and Urban Decay. You're this close, okay, this close. But I'll let you off because it's uniformed. I can get my brush in there. They're the same width all the way down. That's what I like. I don't want to see crazy shapes that makes it very difficult to get your brush in there and it hurts my eyes. Definitely no triangles, no diamonds, no hearts, and absolutely never, ever a mixture of different shapes and sizes. Those are all going to end up at TK Maxx or TJ Maxx or whatever kind of Max you prefer that features in your country. That's where those pans go to die. That's where they belong. Or Claire's accessories. That's what that looks like. Please stop it. Circles and squares, circles and squares, circles and squares. It's the only acceptable choice. Next, we're going to talk about impractical packaging that is going to get filthy and rancid very quickly, regardless of what you do, and be irreversible, uncleanable, unfixable. I'm looking at you, ABH. Now this it doesn't look great. I was going to say it looks fine from a distance. It doesn't really. Look at it up close. That is absolutely, that looks like something's growing on there. It's like it's gone mouldy. It looks disgusting. I mean, who thought that like suede and eyeshadow was a good plan? definitely not me. And they're not the only ones. These impractical materials that are only going to end up vile and looking like a science experiment and someone's growing bacteria on here. And probably we are. I mean, most of our makeup's probably growing bacteria, but we don't want a visual representation and reminder of that fact. We'd rather be blissfully unaware. We don't want to literally be able to see stuff growing on our makeup, and especially not on the outside. The inside is where that's supposed to happen. Absolutely not. We need wipe clean, wipeable packaging for our makeup, okay? That's what we like. We don't want our own fingerprints. If we were caught up in a murder investigation, they're going to go straight for this. It's covered in our prints and DNA. And it's very obvious for all to see. Can't get away with anything around here. Next up, we're talking foundations that you can't get all of the product out of. Impractical, again, impractical packaging, okay? Why don't you, we've already paid for the foundation. Why won't you let us get it all out? Why do you only want us to be able to use 2/3 of it? Well, I know the answer, because you want us to buy a new one quicker. I know what you're doing. We know. We want to be able to get in there. We want every last drop out of that foundation, okay? Here's one. Tom Ford. I mean, this costs £3,000 approximately. Ah, look at that. A screw. Oh, I could unscrew the lid and get every last drop out. I could store this upside down and unscrew, and I can get everything out of here. This doesn't unscrew. The Estee Lauder, it doesn't unscrew. I'm going to have to either yank that off somehow or prise it off with a tool that you're assuming I have. Wouldn't have thought so. Or cut it. Either which thing, I'm not going to be able to then close it ever again, and therefore it's going to have to sit on the side. That's disgusting, and that's a recipe for mess and disaster. I want to be able to get every last little drop out of here, okay? I want to use it until this pump starts working, then I want to be able to unscrew the pump, and I want to be able to get every last drop out, okay? I've already paid for it. Let me get it. Let me get it out. I'm going to need to have a lie down after this. Next up, we're going to talk about face palettes that have 2 of one product and none of another. Hello, I'm looking at you, Charlotte Tilbury. 2 contour powders, a blush and a highlight. We could have had a bronzer, a contour, a blush and a highlight, couldn't we? Wouldn't that have made more sense? Wouldn't that have made more sense instead of 2 different colours of the same product? I'm also looking at you, Natasha Denona. A bronzer and 3 highlights. Pardon? What we would have liked would have been, sure, a cream and a powder highlight. I can let you off for that. Why is this one not a blush? Why isn't it a blush? A bronzer, a blush, a cream highlight, a powder highlight. I'm sorry, that didn't occur to anybody. No one thought of that. No one thought, who needs 2 different shades of contour? Maybe they'd like a bronzer. Or, heaven forbid, 2 different shades of blush. Why was that not thought about? Why was that not an option? Why did that not happen? And who was in that meeting and they said, do you know what everybody needs? 2 different shades of contour for the 2 different colours on their face. 2 different colours of contour in case they're doing their own face and their friend who has a different skin tone to them. That's what everybody wants in their face palette. They don't want bronzers. They don't want 2 different blush options. What they need is 2 different colours and depths of contour for their one face. No. In a face palette, we would like to have all of the face options. A bronzer, a blush, a highlight. A contour is a bonus, to be honest, but I'd like 1 of each of the products that are going in there. 1 of each of the items, not 3 of one and none of several others. That's just not good sense, is it? It doesn't make it make sense. My next makeup bugbear, pet peeve, whatever you'd like to call it, is oversized giant products for no reason. Nobody asked, nobody wanted this, nobody needed it. I'm looking at Charlotte Tilbury. I'm also looking at Marc Jacobs with their bronzers, Pat McGrath with her highlights. These ginormous products. Who's going to get through 'a highlight the size of their face The size of this is a highlighter. The size of this does not fit in my drawer with my other highlighters, and I can't tell you how much that upsets me. I like all my highlights to live together in harmony. All of my blushes to live together in harmony. You see what I like? An organised drawer. Who doesn't? When you bring out these whopping great giant things, it messes with my organisation. And I don't thank you for it. No person with only one face could ever get through a highlight this size in their lifetime, let alone in the 30-month shelf life that these products have, okay? So I understand that what you're saying is that it's limited edition, so you made it ginormous so that, you know, we had it for life, because we can never get another one. But we just want a regular size highlight, because when was the last time that anybody literally fully used up a powder highlight? When did that happen? Hands up if you've used up an entire powder highlight in the last couple of years. Don't lie. If you have done that, you deserve an award. Congratulations to you. Next up, another mess-related item. Can you tell that I don't like mess? And it's powders with insane packaging. I'm looking at you, Pat McGrath, and others. This I daren't even open. In fact, I haven't used this for years, so it should be fine. It's fine. I had to literally keep this like this. I haven't used this since like the first few weeks when this came out, because it's just not my favourite powder. But even keeping this upright in my drawer, when I was using, I'd open this and like the entire thing was dumped out into the top of the lid, okay? Now we know it's possible for that not to happen, because it doesn't happen to any of the other powders. That packaging is atrocious. The other one I have an issue with is, why is there a mirror in there? There you go. Have fun checking your reflection in that bad boy. Now, don't get me wrong. I get the logic of having a mirror in a powder product, because, you know, for touch-ups, if people are going to do touch-ups throughout the day, a lot of the time it's going to be powder that they touch up. So I understand the thinking. What I don't understand is why they couldn't have put like a little flap. See that? Then this wouldn't have had to happen. This is just... We can do better than this, guys. Next up, we're talking eyeshadow palettes with multiple shades that are essentially the same. When you put them on the eye, they're essentially the same. It's a waste. Number one culprit of this is Natasha Denona. This is retro. This is one of my ultimate favourite eyeshadow palettes. I love it, don't get me wrong. But did we need, when there's only like a few shimmers in here, and then both a light pink shimmer. They're almost the exact same colour. Do you see what I'm saying? These two mattes, very, very similar. Very, very similar. Have a look at the bronze palette for more evidence, if you will. Half of the shades in here are the same. We could have made this a much more versatile palette if we hadn't included essentially 1, 2, 3, 4 shadows that are essentially coppery shimmers. Did we need 4 of those? I ask of you. Did we need 4? Almost the same. Did we need these 3 matte shadows to be almost exactly the same? Or could we, hear me out, have had some different ones? I mean, even these two are quite similar, and then these two are also quite similar. Think of how many more options we could have had if we'd stopped putting very, very similar shades in there. I want the most amount of options for my money. Please stop putting 5 of the same colour in the same palette. I know there's a theme here. It's a warm, bronzy palette, but there are no light, bright, inner corner pop shades in here. Take out one of the 8 copper shades. We could have had one of those, Natasha. Couldn't we? We could have done that, couldn't we? Please stop wasting spaces in our eyeshadow palette. They're precious. Every pan counts. I don't want 2 of the same, please. And last but by no means least, because this is my most hated thing about makeup of them all. And it is over-sexualized names. The most unnecessary, weird, awkward, uncomfortable, problem-causing theme among makeup. This causes me, some of these products are sitting on shelves in Boots with big giant billboards that say better than sex mascara. Do you think I'm going to get to walk past that billboard without one of my children asking me what that means? What's that about? What does that mean? What's better than sex, mummy? Really nice and loud so everybody around gets to listen to my answer. Orgasm, everything orgasm, climax, blushes. It's just, is it necessary? Could we have perhaps called it something else? Something that's not going to raise awkward, uncomfortable questions from children who see it in your room. You know, my children, they come in my room, they come in and they look at my makeup and they see these words and there's going to be questions, okay? There's just really no need for it, in my opinion. It doesn't, makeup and sex, two different things. Not necessarily a natural combination from my perspective. The worst I've ever seen of this is this. And I can't even say to you the name of this because it's just vile. Like, who literally wants that on their it's a mascara. That is grim. That is. Nobody wants to review this and have to say that. Okay? That's just weird. Especially as the audience of this brand, I feel like is quite young, and that is really quite gross. Please make it stop. Okay, so I need to go for a lie down, a calm down. I need to have a cup of tea. I need to watch some Brooklyn Nine-Nine or some Schitt's Creek and have a cleanse of my soul and rid myself of all the rage that I just induced within my own body. Please let me know if any of these things irritate you, if any of these are your pet peeves, if you agree, if you disagree, if you love a good sexual name for a mascara. Please let us know in the comment section down below. I hope you enjoyed this video and I'd love to see you in the next one. Otherwise, take care for now. Bye.